What's good, Wizards fans? It's your host, the real Ed Oliver, Brandon Scott. The Washington Wizards lose to the Nets 97-124. The Wizards are now 3-18 on the season, but there was a bright spot in Bilal and Denny. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, Wizards fans? We just want to make sure you guys make us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get a podcast. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to PrizePicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use code all lowercase and LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. All right. Once again, the Washington Wizards lose to the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, but there were some bright spots. Bilal had a double-double, and Denny played pretty well as well. So what were your thoughts on the game and thoughts on Bilal's performance?
The good, the bad, and the ugly, man. Shout out to Clint Eastwood, man. Looking at the good, man. Obviously, Denny and Bilal. We'll start with Bilal. I'm trying to tell you, man, this guy's the future. This guy is definitely the future in DC. I mean, his defensive prowess is unreal. But now his offense is starting to come along, man. That up and under, man, that move he made in the paint. I'm trying to tell you, this young man can play some basketball. I mean, looking at his stat line, here's the biggest alarming thing. And it's good for Bilal, but it's kind of bad for the team overall because he led the way with 10 rebounds. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 4 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. I mean, the kid can play some basketball, man. I mean, we definitely did not miss on this pick. So he was definitely a big bright spot because 10 rebounds for this kid, man, and he slated to play the two guard going forward. If you're getting 10 rebounds from your two guard, man, I'm just saying. So, like I said, that's a good mark as far as him personally. But why is Bilal leading the team with 10 rebounds? You know, that's kind of the issue, really. You know, you want to see, you know, maybe Gash be that guy, you know. So the fact that Bilal's the guy leading the way with rebounds is a little concerning. But overall, man, I love what I see from Bilal and his development. I love it, man. Denny had a really good game. Looking at his stat line, man, 15.7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 6 for 9 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 blocks, 1 steal, and only 1 personal foul. So again, Denny, his offensive tool bag has definitely evolved this season. You know, I love what I see from him offensively. And he, like I said, it feels like the last couple of years, man, when you talk about Denny, is defensive prowess. Now, again, he is a offensive weapon in the system now. You know, he's had a couple bad games here and there. Yeah, absolutely. But overall, he's been a consistent threat from the offensive side. So to me, Denny and Bilal were the bright spots because I'm about to slide into the ugly part of it. They were definitely the bright spots. You know, you definitely seeing them evolve offensively. And that is good signs for our future, man. But let's get to the ugly. No effort. Just blatant, no effort. Team had no heart, no effort. We lost almost every statistical category except for turnovers. I mean, you know, there was Kuz was looking frustrated. There's no effort, man. You know, we were just talking about the last show about how against some of these contenders like your Milwaukee, they play well. You know, they really, you know, they came out to play, they kept it close, and then going into the fourth quarter, that's usually where we lose our grip. But this showing just ugly because there was no effort, no heart. It doesn't look like half of them even wanted to be there. And I'm thinking I'm to the point now, E, and I know we're going to talk a lot about it, especially the closer we get to the deadline, but I think everybody got to go who's a veteran-inspiring deal, including Kyle Kuzma, and you see what you can try to give for Jordan Poole. And you got to give these young guys, maybe you officially, after the deadline, give Bilal the keys to the franchise as far as being that focal point in development. Now, obviously, it's way too soon to say he's a franchise player. I'm not trying to say that. But, you know, we need to develop. We need to see what we have in these young guys, man, because the team's checked out. They're 3-18. You know, we're about to hit the 20 loss mark, man, and we just got into the first quarter of the season, and we're a 20 loss team 2 games from now. I mean, it's hard to watch. You know, yes, we play contending teams hard, but with games like this, it's like we talk about culture. What's the culture? There was no heart, no effort, and it's hard to watch basketball games like that, man. It's one thing to show up and play hard, but then when you totally just don't even care at tip off, I think what are we doing? We need to start looking at what we can get for a lot of these veteran expiring deals. So yeah, I mean, I love what I saw from Denny. I love what I saw from Bilal. These two young men, they're definitely part of the future. But outside of these two, horrible basketball game.
Yeah, it was hard to watch, man. It was in the 30s, like in the second quarter. The Wizards shot 10% from the three, and or was it 18%? The Nets didn't shoot well from the three either. It was a defensive struggle, just guys missing shots.
Yeah.
For the most part. But yeah, the Wizards got dominated on the glass again. But to talk about the positives first, yeah, the Wizards shot 18% from three, and the Nets shot 30% from three. But to talk about the positives first, yes, Bilal was the bright spot for sure. I thought Denny had a solid game as well. He had an and one. I thought he was very aggressive. He was taking it to the basket, playing with physicality, pushing guys out the way, getting downhill. I love that. 15 points for him, 6 for 9 from the field. 2 for 3 from the three-point line, and he rebounded well. 7 boards, 27 minutes. Of course, West waved the white flag. I mean, you lose 124 to 97. I can't blame West for waving the white flag because they just the roster is just not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not making any excuses for West either. But yeah, the roster's just not good enough, and they just didn't play with effort. You kind of see the body language. Kuzma's body language just didn't look like he was 100% there. Honestly, from watching the game, I just don't know what was going on. But they just got outplayed, out physical. Gafford didn't show up. I'm sorry, I said I was going to talk about the positives first, but yeah, Bilal, I love you brought up the up and under move on Cam Thomas. That was a beautiful veteran move. I loved his footwork there. He knocked down a three. He went coast to coast, got to the free throw line. Everything Bilal is doing, of course, there's always rooms for improvement. But as a rookie, I think he's showing some really, really good flashes, and he hasn't even hit half his potential yet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I talk every time. I can't wait until they had, because right now, of course, he's lifting weights, but in the off season is when he really is going to be able to lift more and get stronger. Hate to compare him to Giannis, but he just has that Giannis frame where he came to the league really, really lean, really small. Giannis got in that weight room, got big, got strong, pushing guys out of the way, dunking on guys. Bilal certainly can do that too. I'm not going to compare him to Giannis, but I'm just talking about the frame, just the ball handling when he first came in the league. And I love that Bilal is he's bringing the ball up. He's just, bringing it all coast to coast. Fake handoffs, getting to the basket, just showing off the repertoire there. And when he has a mismatch like Cam Thomas, that's barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to take advantage of that. Before the season is said and done, he definitely needs to get in the starting lineup for sure. I keep talking about him getting 30 minutes. The only person that got 30 minutes last night was the other night was Kuzma. Bilal ended up with 25 minutes, but a double-double shows how good of a rebounder is. Yeah, just let him get the board and go and push it. And I love that. He had 2 assists as well, only in 2 turnovers. But overall, I thought he had a solid game. Denny was really good. I already talked about him where he was getting to the basket. 4 assists, being a good facilitator. And 0 turnovers for Denny as well.
Yeah.
4 assists, 0 turnovers, 15 points. I thought he played well. But everybody else, Tyus had his moments, but it's just not enough. And then Jordan Poole, once again, 8 points. He just has not been consistent at all. And he just hasn't played up to expectations. I'll just keep it as simple as that. He just hasn't gotten into a rhythm. Yes, he's more focused as far as looking at the clipboard and kind of calming down with the antics and the Shaq and the Fool stuff, but he just has not been able to really put together 5 consistent good games. I just haven't really seen that from him his whole. And we've only played 23 games, but I haven't seen consistency from Jordan Poole. So it's unfortunate. He's still not really shooting the ball well. 3 for 7, 3 turnovers on Friday night. So yeah, overall as a team, we got dominated on the boards. Nicholas Claxton had a double-double in the third quarter. We both talked about that in the preview. Any big man that plays against the Wizards, they're just going to get a double-double automatically. He had 13 and 15. Day'Ron Sharp off the bench had 15 and 11. So you had 2 big men had double-doubles against you. And then you look at Gafford's numbers. He had 3 points and 2 rebounds. That's inexcusable. And Gafford, I know he's the only big on the team, but he has to bring more than that. You cannot have 3 points and 2 boards. That's unacceptable. You got to give us 10 and 10, nothing less. And I know Gafford, he's more of a backup big, but still like you. And he's had some good games. The other night he had 18 against Orlando. He had some games where he's shown up, but against the Nets, you got to show up, man. You cannot let Claxton and Day'Ron Sharpe just outplay you like that. It's unacceptable. Kuzma, I just felt like he just wasn't focused 100%, just looking at his body language. And West was playing Gallo and Muscala at the same time. That's barbecue chicken for us right there. You already know how the situation is going to go with that. And Corey Kispert 3 for 11, didn't shoot the ball well. Muscala with 8 points. Jared Butler was a bright spot. I thought he had some good moments. He had a buzzer beater before the second quarter or before halftime. Or it was either the first quarter or halftime, one of those. But Jared Butler, he's shown some flashes with his minutes, 5 points, 3 boards. He had 0 assists and 3 turnovers. You got to work on that. But I like what I saw from him from being a two-way player coming from the G League. And Eugene, of course, he's making the most out of his minutes. He needs more minutes for sure. So not too much on this game, honestly. This was a ugly game. They need to erase their memory with this. And we're going to talk about the Sixers right now. Embiid is questionable, so we'll talk about the same thing. Gafford is questionable too. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yes, they got out rebounded again, just dominated.
Yeah, I mean, ugly game, no effort, no heart, no boxing out, just no care in the world. And I say it all the time, man, that I believe that, the real year one of the rebuilds next year, because this year they got to consolidate. They got to figure out what they have. They got to make moves. And in my mind, man, outside of Bilal and Denny, everybody should be made available at the deadline. Everybody. I mean, I don't see one person outside of these two that really fit the mold going forward, man, because you start with vets. Obviously most of the vets, if not all of the vets, especially inspiring deals, need to go. And Kyle Kuzma, people, using the whole excuse that, oh, he wants to be here. Okay, he can come here in the offseason. I mean, he knew what it was when he got into the contract, which was he knew at one point he's gonna be moved, man. So you need to move. I mean, we need to next year, it needs to be 100% about developing these young guys. See who you got. Kispert, I don't know where he's at going forward, man, because his shot, when it hits, I say it all the time. When a shot hits, he looks immaculate. When it's not, he's pretty much non-existent. I mean, just look at the roster. I don't see anybody outside of Bilal and Denny that you can't really say for surety that they're going to be here next year. Tyus Jones, trade. I mean, Jordan Poole needs to be traded. Kyle Kuzma needs to be traded. I mean, Gafford. I mean, backup big, but I mean, is his contract the worst in the world? No, but I mean, could you throw him into a deal as far as the money line? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, it's just, I think that's where I'm at now, man. I'm kind of checked out to a certain degree to where I'm looking for progression from Bilal and Denny as far as their offensive game. That's what I'm looking at. As far as most of these guys in the roster, man, we need to explore trades at the deadline. Easy. Because the focus should be development. We're not a good team. And, Kuz, I've been really high on Kuz, but that body language, man, is not what I want to see from the leader, man. So if he's checked out, then I think most of them are checked out. I think they're done. And so again, at the deadline, everybody should be made available. That's just me, man.
100%. I don't disagree with you at all. You look at the third quarter, 24-40. Once again, third quarters for West and the Wizards have been tough. And that's where they really struggled. They kept up at halftime. At halftime, they were down by about 5, maybe less than that. And then the floodgates open. Mikal Bridges starts to get into the basket. Cam Thomas starts to get into the basket. Guys just walking in for easy layups and fast break buckets. So that's what separated the two teams in the second half. But as far as trades, everybody can definitely be. Everybody's on the table for sure. Shamet didn't play. I know Shamet didn't play. Somebody commented that. We'll talk about that later. But I think. I'm not going to say it would have been a closer game, but maybe the effort would have been a little bit better. But we're going to move on to the preview. But before we do that, today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Make sure you guys check out PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. With basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specialist League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce, a 10.5 combo of 3 pointers made plus receptions. Want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. Go to PrizePicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. My PrizePicks picks for tomorrow is tough because Joel Embiid's not playing. If he was playing, I would pick the over on him. The last time I saw it was over 34.5 points. The last game we played him, which was last week, where he put up 40, almost 50 points, the over-under for him was about 31.5. They bumped it up to 34.5 because they know he can easily score so much against us. So 34 is a lot of points, but he certainly will do it. He might not even play tomorrow. So make sure you guys, Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. All right, so let's preview the Philadelphia 76ers. Kelly Oubre's back. We just played them. Last time we played them, Joel Embiid went crazy. Every time we play them, Joel Embiid goes off. Same thing with Tyrese Maxey. It's basically the same script we play against the Sixers. We did play them pretty tough the last time we stayed in range, 131, 126. The Sixers right now, they are 13-7. Joel Embiid did put up 50 points. Jordan Poole put up 23. But he is questionable for tomorrow. Daniel Gafford's questionable for tomorrow as well. But what's your keys to development against the Sixers? Last time, Bilal plucked and stole the ball from Joel Embiid and had a dunk.
Couple of factors, man. Looking at the young guys, Denny, Bilal, I want to see them drive the lane aggressively, get to the free throw line. Definitely take advantage of Embiid not being there. If he doesn't play, man, we need to attack the paint. Easy, attack the paint. Especially Bilal and Denny. Definitely want to see them get to the free throw line a lot more. Kispert, I want to see a lot more cuts. Definitely if the shot's not dropping, try to get involved a lot more. More cuts, moving without the ball. And really that's the team period, man. You don't see a lot of movement from this team without the ball. Off-ball movement is just non-existent. So I want to see a lot more off-ball movement with this team. But, Embiid doesn't play. You got to attack the basket. You have got to hit the paint. You've got to attack. You got to push the pace. You've got to really try to catch this team off balance, man, especially in transition. So, if Embiid doesn't play, man, that is a opportunity. Because, Embiid tends to be like a safety valve for the 76ers. When a couple of guys have off night, they know that Embiid is going to drop at least 25 plus. So they use him as a safety valve. But him not in the game, man, that's a lot of pressure on Maxey, a lot of pressure on Tobias Harris. I'm attacking the basket and I'm pushing the pace. That's definitely what I want to see from the team tomorrow night.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, pushing the pace, making Joel Embiid run, making him uncomfortable. I think the last time we played him, the pick and roll was really working, just making him move his feet because he doesn't want to go out there and step out there. We do have some bigs that can stretch the floor like Muscala and Gallo. Yes, they get dominated by Joel Embiid defensively, but, make him work, make him move his feet, make him uncomfortable. He's not trying to go out there and run around. So the pick and roll worked really well. Gafford's got to show up. Yeah. I'm not expecting Gafford to slow Embiid down at all. He put up 50 points last time we played him.
Yeah.
So I'm really expecting nothing less. I'm expecting at least 35 to 40 points from Embiid if he does play. But if he doesn't play, yeah, you got to take advantage of it. Maxey is the guy who is a guy that kind of, I'm not going to say he gets slept on, but, he's a guy that really hurts the Wizards a lot. And,
yeah.
He's a darn good basketball player as well. So, he puts up big numbers against everybody this year. He's had a darn good year. Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre's back, and Melton, and they got a good team. They got a good roster this year as always. They're always a perennial playoff team. But, just rebounding, and I just want to see Denny keep it up, be physical, get to the basket, create for others. He's really been dishing and diming well into the basket, ball movement, defending the three-point line. They put up a lot of threes. Melton shoots the three well. Tobias Harris, Oubre shoots a lot of threes. Maxey, Joel Embiid will shoot the three. Covington off the bench. Batum off the bench. He hurt us a couple times with a couple of threes off the bench. So really defending the three-point line, getting back on defense, rebounding, just playing with some effort and intensity. We know this team's not going to win a lot of games, but we just want to see the effort there. I know it's hard when you're losing a bunch of games, but we do want to see some toughness and some tenacity out there from them. So that's all I ask. Shamet, we'll see. I don't know if he's playing or not. And Yeah, just play hard because the Nets game, the effort was not there.
Yeah, absolutely. No effort, no heart. They barely showed up. And that's another fact I'm looking at, man. I'm looking at two people. I'm looking at Westside Hill Jr. and Kyle Kuzma. Be that leadership, man. You know, you know what the MO is this season. It's a rebuilding team where we're not be very good. I don't want to see bad body language from those two out of anybody, man. You know, look, out of anybody on the roster, your leadership should not be that guy who's already putting the white flag up. No, it's a bad sign. So, yeah, I want to see leadership show up, man, because you're in Philly. Look, this crowd ain't gonna make it easy, man. You know, they have they have no problem giving anybody the smoke, man. I mean, we're talking about Philadelphia through snowballs or Santa Claus, man. I'm saying, I'm telling you, it's Philly. So go in there and play with some heart, man. You know, I say this every episode. Play for the name on the front, not the name on the back. And that's where I'm at, man. Play with some pride. You know, you're not very good. Okay, still play with some pride, man. You know, so that, you know, definitely. Again, looking at Bilal and Denny, I want to see them be a lot more aggressive. I mean, you know, you're seeing it with Bilal, and you definitely see it with Denny. So those two are my focal point, man. To be, you know, no disrespect to anybody else, but to me, you know, the foundation starts with those two. So those two, I definitely want to see them hit the lane. You know, especially, you know, even if Embiid plays, be aggressive. You know, try to get him in foul trouble. Be aggressive. Definitely be aggressive, man. Because, you know, Embiid's one of those guys, man, where he likes to mess with people. But if you get into his head, get him in foul trouble, man, then he's kind of not going to hit off the snake, man. You know, because he is the de facto leader of that team. So I'm definitely trying to be aggressive. I'm pushing the pace. I'm definitely getting the passing lanes. It's just aggression in the heart. And that's what I want to see from this team.
100%. So we're going to get to some comments here. But before we do that, we have a quick word from Brandon.
Absolutely. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins, right? If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. Don't waste no time. Do it right now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over and unders, and parlays. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. All right.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to read two comments. We're going to wrap it up tonight. We're not going to read too many because we're going to save them for tomorrow because we will be on tomorrow after the Sixers game. So Big J52, a lot of people got upset about our Pat Williams video. A lot of people don't want Pat Williams. And look, you know, I don't think either traded Pat Williams, Caruso. I don't see either of them coming to DC. It was just a report from Amico Hoops. We got to talk about it. Anything Wizards, any Wizards content or anything that their name is mentioned in a report, we have to discuss it. Pat Williams, he's a solid player. Is he a needle mover? Not at all. I think he's kind of like how Grant Williams is when we were rumored to have interest in him. It's kind of like, I don't know if Pat Williams really fits the timeline. I think he's an okay player. He's a solid player, but he's not going to move the needle here anywhere at all. So I don't think the trade's going to happen at all. So, but we see you guys' comments. We know you guys definitely don't want Pat Williams. I totally understand.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you got to report on possible transactions, man. And, a report comes out that the team is interested in the player. You got to look at it and look at the pros and cons. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Not a lot of people want Pat Williams in the deal too, but, we got to report on it nevertheless. But Blue Jay, Big J, Blue Jay. Big J 52, he says, "Sup, bros, is official. The season is about Bilal and Denny." Totally agree. The faster the front office and local media gets that straight, then we can enjoy the season. Corey needs to go. We got athletic beasts on the go. Agree on everything, man. Bilal and Denny are the focal point, in my opinion. They have to be the focal point because these two are the beginning of the foundation, in my opinion. The front office, I think the front office does have a plan, man. It's just, I always said that I believe that next year is officially, the first year to rebuild. This year is more about consolidating some of these aspiring deals and seeing what you really have, especially with these young guys, man. Corey Kispert, man, he's an interesting case, man, because when the shot's dropping, he's on point. And you definitely see the upside with Corey Kispert. High energy, cutter, basketball IQ's high. Is just, defensively he's not there. And really, how does the front office look at him? So, and the go-go, man, I mean, Diallo is rocking, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to tell you, man, Diallo is somebody that, man, you might want to look at maybe giving him some playing time after the deadline. So, yeah, I agree with everything, man.
Yeah, I like him. I like Hamidou Diallo. I like him a lot. I liked him coming out of Kentucky. I liked him when he was on the Pistons. He's super athletic. I think he would bring some energy to the roster as well, playing above the rim and some physicality too. So I do want to see them bump him up. They probably won't. It's going to be unfortunate. It's probably going to be like how Chris Dunn was cooking last year, and they never brought him up. And then the Jazz signed him, and he played pretty well with the Jazz. And he's actually getting like legitimate minutes with the Jazz right now, and he did last year too. So that's what I think is going to happen with Giallo. We'll see what happens. Eugene's been playing really well with the Go-Go too. So I think Eugene needs more than just garbage or waving a white flag type of minutes. Giallo's playing well. Jared Butler had a good game last night, or when we played the Nets, I thought he played pretty well. I want to see Rollins coming to get some time. So there's a lot of guys that I'd rather see play and get some minutes for sure off the G League and some of the two-way contract guys for sure. Pat Baldwin, I thought he played. Let me see. Did he play? I could have sworn I seen him out there against the Nets, and he didn't really do much, but I saw him. I could have sworn I seen him play one of the couple games that we played. But Big J, 52. Everything you said definitely has you have some good points. Yes, it is just Bilal season and Denny season, just seeing what these guys can do. Seeing how Bilal develops, just Denny getting better each game, more confident each game. I love seeing that. As far as Corey needing to go, you always need a shooter. You always need somebody who can stretch the floor, somebody who can space the floor. Shooters are super, super, super valuable. They're very valuable. The Wizards, we don't have a lot of guys who are long-range marksmen who can knock down shots. And Corey is a guy that he can do more than just shoot. He can cut to the basket. He can move without the ball. Not going to put the ball on the floor much. Not much of a defender, so I get people's concerns. And he plays above the rim too, man. He's athletic, man. He can finish strong, finish through contact. So I like Corey. We'll see if we pick up his option. We picked up Denny's option and signed him to. We gave him an extension. We'll see what they decide to do with Corey in the offseason. We just know what he is. He's a shooter. As far as getting better, he's kind of, he's got to be a 50, 40, 90 guy, 40% shooter. Yeah. But I like his game. I think he's a good shooter in this league. And I think if he is gone or traded, I think another team will definitely use him. Like the Heat probably will use him pretty well. There's a couple of teams that I feel like would get the best out of him as a shooter.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like Corey Kispert too, and he's definitely a shooter, but he can do other things. Cutting to the basket. But it all depends on the price. Next year he's next man up as far as a young guy hitting into his final year of his rookie deal contract, man. So this front office definitely, is going to be interesting to see if they value him as much as they do Bilal or Denny. Because he's not in the same category as Johnny Davis. I think Johnny Davis is definitely not part of the future plans of this franchise. But Corey Kispert, you always, like you said, and I agree 100%, you always need a shooter. You always need a guy who's going to be able to hit those shots, man. So we'll see.
Yes, sir. And Deshaun hit the nail on the head. Like he said, Kuzma looked mad. Kuzma, something was off with him, with his body language. We know the whole thing with him going back and forth with Denny Woody on Twitter, him calling him Den Shiggity, and him just going back and forth. We know they don't like each other. We know the whole situation with Den Woody when he was here in DC. But Kuz just looked off. He didn't look like he was really locked in. No pun intended. But Hassan said, shout out to Bilal and Denny for being the only two players on this team that care. Corey was awful. Yeah, Corey had a rough game. Kuz looked mad. Poole didn't try, got benched. Yeah, Poole didn't play well either. And it's just been a roller coaster ride with him. Gaffer didn't show up. Gaffer was pretty darn bad. 2 points and 3 boards is inexcusable. You let two other big men that you played against, Sharp and Claxton, get double-doubles. Awful game. Yeah, so, I don't have much to say this on. Other than that, you really explained it all. Gaffer was not good. He got not gonna say dominated, but he got outplayed. And that's inexcusable because if he plays like that, then Embiid is going to put up 60. He really might put up 60 to 65 if he plays like that. And I'm not even joking.
Poole, get your bets in.
Yeah, I know. FanDuel and PrizePicks for sure. Poole didn't try, got benched. Yeah, it's been that kind of, we'll see some consistent games from him, and then we'll see some games where he's really not focused. It's been that kind of way the whole season. Kuzma, this was the first game where I saw Kuzma kind of like not focused. So I was a little surprised by that. And then Bilal and Denny, they're the two guys that we're really locking in and focused on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, looking at Kuz, man, we don't know what goes on in these guys' personal lives. He might be going through something,
That's true.
Had an off game. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to look too much into it because he's been a solid leader for this team. the last couple of years. So I'm not even like really tripping about Kuz at all, man. But Gafford didn't show up. I mean, Gafford's definitely, he is what he is. He's a backup. I mean, he's a backup. I mean, I see he's trying to add a mid-range, but he's a backup. He struggles against most bigs in this league. Let's be real. Too many mental lapses, too many mistakes, still got issues with fouls. It's just, he is what he is. And there's a lot of players in this team where they are who they are. Looking at Jordan Poole, I really do hope the young man figures it out and still has a successful NBA career. But I'm gonna say this: I believe he got exposed. He was behind the security blanket of Golden State and and all that talent they have, and yeah, they had problems, but a lot of these, a lot of the bad body language, the immaturity, a lot of that was kind of hid because behind all that leadership they had in Golden State. Now that he's a focal point, and now that he's the face is being exposed, man. But I think long term, he's a sixth man. I don't, from what I see right now, I don't think he's that guy that you can say, here's the ball and run the team. I don't see it yet. If we ever do see it, I think long term, as far as longevity, whether it's here in DC or somewhere else, to me, he's the sixth man. And I think, that's where I'm at, man. I hope he figures it out, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was able to play off Steph and Clay and Draymond and so many guys in that roster. Even Andrew Wiggins. They just have a championship caliber roster over there in Golden State, and Steve Kerr, who can dial him in. Kind of when he's playing a little freelancing and doing his own thing. Steve Kerr can dial him. Even Steve Kerr had troubles dialing him in. And, you saw him going back and forth with Draymond, going back and forth with Steph and some coaches. So he definitely certainly had some of his disagreements with players and coaches over there and teammates for sure. But just playing around Steph. Steph just makes everybody better because he can shoot the heck out of the ball. He's a future Hall of Famer. So everybody's got to be so focused on Steph, so focused on Clay, just the way they can shoot the ball. And it gives Jordan Poole opportunities to, kind of get open shots, open looks, one-on-one drives. Now he has to step up and be more mature because defenses are really, really game planning for him over here. And he's supposed to be a number one option or a number two option on the roster. And he struggled from the field. Defensively, he's never really been a good defender anyway, but that's getting exposed more here, especially with the West. The team defense is terrible. At least with Golden State, they had some solid defenders over there. With Draymond was a good defender, and just their team defense was a lot better than what we have. So he's being exposed even more defensively just because how bad we are as a team. So it's a learning curve for him, but as far as moving forward, we definitely see that he's definitely not a future piece of this team. And I think he will be moved, if not before February, then certainly in the offseason for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's gone. He's gone. I think more so the offseason. But I think that there might be some friction, man, as far as I think Kuz, you need to see what you can give him at the deadline. But I know that's a whole nother conversation. But getting back to the comment, man, it's just a lot of people didn't show up. This game is it was hard because there was no effort, and it's tough to watch, man. It really is. You want to see them again play for the name in the front, not the name in the back. So
thank you guys for watching and listening. Of course, we see a lot of comments here. We just want to see what's up to you guys for sure. Desan, we see your comment here for sure. We'll probably talk about that on another episode for sure. Jared Williams, what's up here? He's a Yankees fan, probably a Nets fan as well. But Desan, like I said, we see your comment. Thank you for watching. We'll definitely talk about that on another episode for sure, maybe tomorrow night. But we just want to thank you guys for listening. Making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you guys get podcasts. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button as well. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.